Are you falling in love with that? I almost called that a Smith. Are you falling in love with that F bass, or is it a placeholder? I want to know right now. Is this bass the new? I can tell by your reaction. I can tell by your reaction.
It's an amazing. Let me just turn off the.
Ooh, we got some sauce on there.
Yeah.
It really does a nice that burpy snap.
Yeah, it does that thing.
It's
great.
cool.
It's really nice. Right. I don't know. Do you know? Like I've said it before. I'll say it again. Yes. F bass in terms of so if you guys don't know, this is an F bass in terms of consistency of build and stuff. They're incredible. What we get with 70s jazz basses, for instance. Let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum. You have no freaking clue what you're going to get, whether it's going to be a killer or it's going to be a killer turd. It could be either. And with F bass, it's just, it's not. It's like the opposite of that. There's such consistency. But in terms of, I don't know, maybe it's very fancy.
It's very fancy. I mean, and I remember you said that.
Some people, dude, like wearing pimpy stuff, right? They like the gold chains, and they like the 80s power blazers, right? And and they want gold hardware on their basses, whatever, right? There's people that dig that. I just don't know if I'm that guy. So I don't know. I've thought about. I don't know if it's maybe there's just so much on it. And I actually like the stuff as I play it. I'm like, nice. It's got the parallel. It's got the series
it's got all the
switches,
options.
It's got all.
Have you had it on a gig yet?
I cannot remember. I don't think I have actually. But I love it. It's got an olive top. It's a smooth olive top, but it does also look like my mother's cheese board, which I actually really like. Like when I saw my mother's cheese board, I was like, whoa, look at the wood. But I've also got it on the bass, so I'm not sure. I'm just it's a phenomenal bass. I just don't know whether this amount of frilliness is my jam.
Yeah, we don't know if it's sustainable. We don't know how long it's going to last.
Exactly.
I mean, you have eras of basses in your past. Yeah. You love them and leave them, Divine.
I'm such a floozy.
Oh my God. Someone the other day said, what was it? Maybe I was on live class or something, but someone the other day was like, oh, Scott needs to bring back the Nate Mendel. It's like Nate Mendel P bass. Yeah. But that's long gone, right?
When I have moments with other men, generally men, right? Just said I wish there was more bass playing ladies out there. If you're a lady listening to that, spread the word. We need more of you. But I do have moments with other bass playing males about the Mendel bass, where they'll be playing one. We'll be on a Zoom call, right? It'll be in SBL live class. I think it was just a week ago I was on live class. Or it'll be some other live hang, right? And one of the members will be there with the Mendel, and I'll call it. I'll be like, "Oh, Mendel," and they'll give me that wink, and I'm like, "Yeah, you know."
That's great, man,
dude. That bass kills. Like, if anybody doesn't know that, the Nate Mendel P bass is such a killer. It's the
Foo Fighters Nate Mendel. Yeah, it's got that big Seymour Duncan, right? So it's loud and mid-rangey.
So mid-rangey.
Yes.
It's like a tractor. Just plowing that field, plowing the groove.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Anyway, dude, we're here today.
Oh, we're here.
To talk about the 5 most iconic basses of all time. And just to put it out there, we might have got it wrong. So if we did completely screw this up, please let us know in the comments down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're not watching this on YouTube, shoot over to YouTube main channel, SBL channel. Let us know if we got it wrong. There were a few where we were like, and we will talk about that at the end of this conversation. We'll maybe do some honorable mentions, but we were like, can this be in? Should it be in? Are we going to get torched in the comments? We don't know. So, yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good about the list. I've got to say, I mean, now, there are going to be people, we had to pick 5, the 5 most iconic, legendary. What are we talking? What are we saying? Classic. What's the word we're using?
Iconic, dude. Iconic. I just want to use the word iconic more this year. Iconic.
Yeah. Well, so we picked that list, and of course there's going to be stuff we leave out, and there's some misgivings that I have even about this list. I'm like, ooh, but what about? So maybe we'll talk about it as we go. But the idea is I'm going to play. I have these basses, so I'm not holding one in my lap at the moment. I have these basses here, and Scott has a frilly doily blindfold.
Yeah,
is that what that is?
Just check this bad boy out. Yeah, let me take my glasses off.
Yes.
Thank you, Winter. My daughter, she's at forest school today, and I snuck into her bedroom and stole her blindfold.
It almost looks like you've got Vision Pro on, man.
I know this is sort of like my version of Vision Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the affordable model.
It's the everyman's version. Yeah.
That's just the Vision, not Pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the Apple Vision.
Is this the look? God, is this the look? That's the look. Do you think Lisa's going to dig it? My love life will flourish after finding this look.
Yes. I don't hate it. There are worse looks out there. Oh, come on, get it together, Divine. We got stuff falling. We got
falling. I know. But the idea here is, Ian, you're going to play. So just to make it more fun, we want, obviously we want to talk about these basses. We want to talk about, which iconic players played these basses. What were the sounds? Whether we personally dig the basses or not, the positives about them, the negatives about these basses as well, I think will be really interesting to touch on. Like, what sucks about these basses? Because trust me, every one of these basses actually does suck in a specific way. So we're going to get in that. But we thought it would just add in a little bit of fun and blindfold me. So Ian's going to pick up one of the basses that I'm not going to know. So he's going to pick up one of these basses, and then I have to guess which one he's playing. So just to be transparent, though, I do know what the 5 basses are, but I'm not going to know. I'm just punching my microphone here. But I do not know which one he's going to play first or second or third or whatever, right?
Right.
Are you ready, Mr. Allison?
Well, and here's the thing. You can play at home, too. First of all, you have no choice. If you're an audio podcast listener, you're going to be with Scott on this because you won't see the bass, right? But if you're on YouTube, we're not going to blur out the bottom of the screen. We're going to have that delicious moment. Oh, that moment that everyone savors where we know, but he doesn't know. I know, you know, YouTube podcast viewer, but Scott doesn't know.
I do not know.
Even Gav knows because he's watching. Oh, what a delicious moment. But if you want to be in Scott's shoes and you want to put yourself to the test, close your damn eyes, you big cheater. Come on.
So shall I don the blindfold?
Yes, I think you should. Okay, he's all blindfolded up. First one.
Okay.
Plugging it in.
So I'll tell you what. That was a tight.
See, I hate this. I hate this because I feel like even just by plugging it in, you're going to know, which makes me freaking crazy.
Maybe. I hate this challenge.
I love that you don't know right away. That makes me so happy. Do you want another couple options with this instrument?
So I tell you what it isn't, right? It's not a jazz bass.
Right. Why?
It's because it sounds
correct.
like a neck pickup. It sounds like a neck pickup. It's powerful sounding. Does it do any other sounds other than that?
Yeah.
Oh my word. It sounds big. So it's definitely not a P bass. It's not a jazz bass.
Do you remember the list of the 5?
I'm trying to think about it. Is it a Rickenbacker?
I wish I had a yes, it is a Rickenbacker.
It's a cool sound, man. It's a cool sound. It's like
such a
on
great
the list of
sound.
bass. I've never owned a Rickenbacker. It is on my list of like.
You have to have one.
I know. I've got to. But anyway, like, what about the history? Like, obviously, you know, Rickenbacker played by Lemmy, played by who else? Like Chris Squire.
Oh yeah.
Your guy.
Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee.
My
right?
guy.
Your guy. Yeah, played by.
Yeah.
But like, when were the? Do you know when they were actually introduced as a bass? When were they made?
Gav was pulling this up. I think it was in the 50s, but the first 4001 was maybe 61, right? And this is a reissue of a 63. This is called a 4001 V63.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but I think this was made in the 90s. This is a really cool instrument though. Big, huge headstock. I like that it's got the horseshoe bridge pickup. It's got the vintage toaster in the neck.
Yeah.
So the idea is, also Paul McCartney played one of these.
Oh yeah, Paul. Oh my, I cannot believe.
Yeah. Well, no, it's okay. I mean, you know, you kind of think of it as like a rock and roll thing, right? Like, especially when you see it, you're like, oh, that's like a rock bass, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think, right, that neck pickup is really mellow, but then if you go to the bridge pickup, your favorite bass sound of all time.
I actually like it.
Right? It's very like, it's really versatile. And then in the middle, it's weird. It doesn't sound like a jazz bass. It's its own thing.
It sounds really necky. Like it
Yes,
does
it
sound
does.
like it's got that, because the neck pickup's a bigger pickup, right? It's a stronger out of the two.
I don't know actually.
Really?
It just yeah. Also, the neck pickup is actually slammed. It's a true neck pickup. It's slammed up against the fingerboard here, and the bridge pickup is roughly maybe a little further back toward the bridge, but roughly like where a P bass pickup. would be.
Okay. So that's why it has necky sound. Yeah.
It's like warmer. That's both pickups. Here's neck again and bridge. Really versatile, cool instrument. And I feel like you pulled up a clip,
dude. Yeah, I've got a clip, dude. Right, and my idea, and I've got one for each of the basses as well. My guess, sort of like high level idea was, all right, if aliens came down, aliens came down and said, in their own language, right? But I'm paraphrasing here. What does a Rickenbacker sound like? We'll be like, well, we can only show you one video clip. This is the video clip that we're gonna show you. So you wanted to pull up. Let me just get this.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen here.
Yeah.
And then we'll dive on in.
I mean,
it's so massive, isn't it?
it's huge. Even the high notes.
Love it.
I mean, right, that's of course Geddy Lee with Rush.
Dude, bad things are happening. I'm kind of sort of like, you're taking me over to the other side. Like seriously, it's I don't know. For those of you who like don't know, when Ian basically introduced me to Rush, and I was like, yeah, they're okay. But like that came on there, I was like, actually,
it's pretty great, right?
Actually, it's pretty great, yeah.
If you distort, come on, Ian. Like if you distort a Rickenbacker, they're so and hit it like that, like Geddy does.
What setting is that?
Okay, in the very beginning, I was favoring the bridge slightly, but then just there, I just went straight between the two. I don't think he ever used either one of the pickups. I think he just put it in the middle and used both.
Yeah.
But it's It's a monster sound. It's
It's
so
a monster,
fun.
yeah. And just to say as well, it's actually more in terms of versatility. It's actually really versatile as well. There was an album called the Paul Motion Electric Bebop Band. He did a series of them. Paul Motion was an incredible, like a legendary jazz drummer, and he had the electric bebop band. And I listened to this one album for years and stressed out about what was that bass he was using in the
Right.
in the band, because it just had like a different quality. It was obviously an electric bass, but it had a different quality to other electric basses I'd heard before, and it was really upright. Like there was something about the kind of like the essence of the sound that just sounded like an upright. And years later, I found out it was Anders Christensen playing a Rickenbacker, and I was
so
my
crazy.
mind was blown. It was it was rad. Super
That's
cool.
so cool. I mean, and obviously we're leaving a lot of people out. We've done a couple of Rickenbacker videos where we've gone through some of our favorite players. But I mean, of course, Lemmy from Motorhead. We mentioned Paul McCartney. I sometimes think of Bruce Thomas with Elvis Costello too. He had a really cool Rickenbacker vibe. Another great Rickenbacker bass line is that band Space Hog.
Oh my word! Yes.
Like, I mean,
Dude, was that in the
Such a cool-
1990s? Gav, was that in the 1990s? If it is, we should do a video. Let's commit to doing a video. Was this the greatest unknown bass line of the 1990s or whatever?
man.
It's such a great bass line.
It's so good. Yeah, Royston, the singer,
From Leeds.
was also from Leeds. Is he
Yes,
from
dude.
Leeds?
He went to
No way.
Leeds Uni, yeah. I think
Oh,
he
that's
might be from
amazing.
Leeds, but he definitely went to Leeds Uni because, Is it
Well,
a thumbs
we
up
should-
from Gav, 1990s? Well,
Yeah,
1994.
94. Hell yeah.
Good, good
I
things are
love.
happening then.
I love the idea of doing that video because I think too. I have a friend named Justin Charbonneau who used to play with Soul Asylum and met Royston from Space Hog, and said that. I think he said that he got his black 4001 Rickenbacker from like the John Lennon estate.
What?
Yes. Like it belonged to John Lennon or John Lennon's kids or something.
Yeah.
But it was like given to him from the estate or, I don't know, man. I love it though. And we got to get to the bottom of it. It'd be really fun to make that video. I don't think I was playing that bass line right too. I think Sharon really knows it inside and out.
It's such a great track. Can I just share it? Let me just.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
So this is
of course.
Space Hog. In the meantime.
Yeah. Just this bass line is so front and center. There's that bass.
Yeah.
4001 Jet Glow. Yeah. Low E.
Love it.
And maybe he's playing. Oh, he's playing with a pick. All right.
This chorus as well.
Oh, I know. That's outrageous. Oh my God.
Oh, so good. So
Hey,
good.
can I bring something up about this Rickenbacker thing?
Yeah, dude.
Pretty much all. No. It's almost though. Check it out. 3 out of the 4 main people that we mentioned are all lead singers. Geddy Lee from Rush,
Yeah.
Royston from
Yeah.
Space Hog, Paul McCartney from the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
Now, Chris Squire wasn't the singer in Yes, but Lemmy from
Lemmy.
Motorhead.
Oh my word. Yeah. Lemmy, yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah,
it's
maybe that's
all
the-
front. Is it because they look so like rock and roll? Now this one isn't. This one doesn't have the binding and all that.
They
but
do
like,
look,
is it,
they look
Yeah.
amazing. Like if Billy Sheehan didn't play his Yamaha signature bass. I wish that he played a Rickenbacker because it's
interesting.
It's just
yes.
I don't know. It's just the bass. In terms of looks for me, it's the bass. In terms of the coolness, it's the look.
They're so freaking cool.
Yeah. But what sucks about it, like we did we're going to be talking about what sucks about all of these basses, what sucks about a Rickenbacker.
A bunch of stuff.
We did a full video on it.
Yeah. They're why they're like maybe the most annoying bass of all time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They come with this stuff where you can take off the covers over the pickup, but it's hard to find a place to like put your thumb and play in the spot that maybe you want to. Also, you can't palm mute. Because the strings sit underneath these sort of like metal, almost sort of risers where you can't, if you palm mute, you're just too far in front. Yeah. But there's like a bridge mute that you can screw, you can like raise up, but then all the strings go sharp. It's awful. And then there's 4 knobs and a switch. And sometimes, I don't know, there's like a little bit. Like this is sort of the Gibson layout, right? Where you have 2 volume knobs, you have 2 tone knobs, and then you have a switch. And sometimes it's like, oh God, what are we doing with all this stuff, right? I mean, talking to a guy that's got a lot of controls and switches on a bass over on the other side of the pond there. I mean, you got me beat. But, to me, that's a little annoying. And then also on the 4001s, that have the binding, sort of the more classic one. This is like emulating the 60s ones, right? This is emulating a 63, but the ones that were made late 60s into the 70s, they all have binding. They're kind of sharp. They don't feel like you want to give them a hug. They kind of feel angular and,
The necks can be a bit weird as well and angular, some of the necks. Like I've played some with a really nice necks, but some of the older ones have weird necks. They're
also,
they're
they have
quirky.
2 truss rods, which is weird. Yeah. And so then you can adjust the bass side of the relief of the neck essentially it just caused warping and hold on. That might be misinformation, but I just feel like so many other companies have 1 truss rod.
Don't worry about it. It's not like this is going on the internet.
Hey, don't worry. Yeah, your double truss rod Rickenbacker is not going to warp. It's going to be fine. But what I have discovered is sometimes the truss rods rattle. Like I've had a few Rickenbackers over the years where like unless you have them set a certain way, you'll play and you'll hear inside the neck it'll like.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've had that on other basses as well. That's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
I suppose it's not just a Rickenbacker, but I mean, also, they don't hum cancel in the middle. Like you know what a jazz bass? If you solo a pickup, it stops buzzing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, it buzzes. Like you solo the bridge, you solo the neck, and it's zzz. Well, this bass doesn't. If I turn it, actually, you know what? That's both pickups in the middle. You hear it buzzing?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. It's not bad. But like, if you're on a really noisy stage and you want to use, and you're using your neck pickup and it's really buzzy and you're like, oh, no problem. I'll just go into the middle and it will stop. It doesn't. It's wired in a way, unlike a jazz bass, that it doesn't buck the hum when you use both pickups together. That's super annoying.
I'm grabbing the blind.
Oh yeah. Are we moving on?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're moving on. Okay.
I'm going in. Hang on, I haven't got it on yet.
No
Okay.
problem.
One down.
Are you ready for
4
bass
to go.
number 2?
Yes.
Look, everybody, this is a rare moment. We know. And Scott doesn't know. Gav, you know. Scott doesn't know. Ugh, what a delight. Okay, here we go. Did you hear that input jack?
It was quite.
Do you have any thoughts?
It was softer.
Oh, was it?
Than the Rickenbacker, yeah.
Here we go. What is it? I'm trying to play you a little. What's that?
I think it's a P bass. Is it a P bass?
Are you sure?
Oh. Yeah. Oh my word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I misled you by asking you for
my
sure.
word.
Final answer. Yeah, good call. P bass. I mean, what made it sound like a P bass to you?
Just sounds like a P bass.
Yeah, it does.
But you know when you're like blindfolded, you like listen. Well, you probably
Yes.
don't know what it's like being blindfolded. But let me tell you, if you kind of like, is it though? Like
I know.
think if it's easy to be like, oh yeah, it sounds like a P bass. But recording it in this environment, I'm like, I'm not.
Oh, I know.
Not sure. Like
And
I was
remember, dude. I remember back in the day when you did that. You did a video of like a P bass versus a jazz bass neck pickup,
yeah.
and you covered them up so we couldn't see.
Sure. Yeah.
I absolutely struggled with that. I thought, I'll be able to tell that immediately, and I was like, without seeing it, man. We hear with our eyes, we really do.
Yeah.
But of course, P bass. This is based on a 58 P bass. This is a custom shop, that has, it's the standard P bass with the split coil pickup. It has a big chunky maple neck. Yeah. I love this bass. I mean, in the story,
ultimate workhorse, dude.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Ultimate workhorse.
Because you can do so much with it.
Yeah, one pickup, one tone, 4 strings.
That's right.
It's
the truth.
Yeah, it's like, it's not what the Rickenbacker is about. The Rickenbacker looks really cool, and there's like different pickups, and there's knobs, and there's like switches.
Yeah,
and,
there's stuff you can do.
There's stuff you can do. With this, it's not that. It is the ultimate workhorse, and maybe the most legendary bass of all time. In fact, it is. I'm going to put it out there. I think
it's
just
just incredible.
Yeah,
I
think
it
sits above the jazz bass in terms of legendary bass.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, dude. James Jamerson, man. It's like that's where it came from. So yeah, like I don't know. People might disagree, but that's my take on it.
51, Leo made the first P bass. It didn't look like this. It was, the one that had the pickguard up on the upper horn. It had a single coil, but in 57, they switched to this design, this body design, which was sort of more like the Strat. Contours were happening by then, and they also redesigned the pickup to that split coil Tetris piece that we all know and love. That's what I think of anyway when I see it. I'm like, it's that Tetris piece that sucks to put anywhere. It just dates me, but yeah, and a P bass with rounds, right? It's got a vibe. It's got a whole thing. You can turn the tone knob off, and it's really warm. It's great. It's super versatile. This one has rounds, and I don't know. Do we have a little something we can play
I'm just grabbing
world?
it now, dude. Of course, yeah. I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, this is your favorite P bass sound. I know this one.
Let's do it.
Oh yes.
So good.
It's so good.
Side note, this is such a great song.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Oh, it's so cool. And if you want to get that, that's Adam Clayton, New Year's Day, U2, right? If you want to get that thing going on, a little chorus. Where do you think it sounds best for that, Scott? Is he picking like up here?
I don't care. It just sounds so good. You play that anywhere. It sounds
play it back here.
So good.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Just so good. That's what I prefer really it. Just like around that
up
neck.
Here.
Yeah.
Up kind of over really the neck pickup.
Yeah. But dude, what sucks about a P bass?
Well, the P bass has such a thick sound, especially kind of in that mid-range, that I think it kind of leads people, at least for me when I first started, a P bass sounded kind of like this. And I felt like, man, I wanted something that didn't sound as sort of congested in the mid-range. Then what happens is you get older and you discover that, it actually, that mid-range, the bug is a feature, right?
Yeah,
it makes it stand out in a mix, but also somehow simultaneously sit in a mix, which is crazy. And when you get this bass, this sound, which is sort of mid-range congested to me, it sounds like an instrument that has a cold or like a sinus infection.
Yeah.
But when you get that sound in a mix, it's like pretty unbeatable. It's
amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to put it out there as well, just in case anybody's on the sort of like the whole flats train, right? And they're just thinking, flat wounds are it. Everybody plays flat wounds. Okay, I get it. Everybody plays flat wounds on a P bass, right? But I love rounds on a P bass as well.
They're pretty great.
I think that it's kind of become, I don't know, like a fashion thing to have flats on a P bass, to the point where I think that like people miss out on how great they sound with rounds. Were you here, Ian, when we put the P bass over here, when we put the rounds on it, and it was like, whoa,
it just brought it to life. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
And that's a crazy thing. I mean, I've got another bass here. I've got another P with flats, just for fun, just to show the good people of the internet the difference.
Yeah.
So here, this is a 65 P bass. And it's a very different thing, right? I mean, if we play the Clayton line, it's not the same, right? Even if you get the chorus on it.
Just different, yeah.
It's different, but it is really cool for like what I think a P bass with flats is good for is not aggressive snap. Like, I don't think this kind of playing sounds good on a P bass. I think, or a P bass with flats rather.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's this. It's that sort of like light touch Sean Hurley thing for me.
Yeah.
It's that kind of seems to suit the sound more. So you kind of have to be, for me, you have to be comfortable playing sort of more, I don't know, restrained or
as you said, you know, when you were like saying it's a bug, the bug is a feature, or the bug is the thing that makes it shine, right? That sort of like mid-rangey is what makes it really shine as an instrument. All of the other limitations are that thing as well. Like, hey, it's got one pickup. Oh, well, yeah, that could be a bug, but it's also a great feature as well.
Right.
It's only got one volume and one tone. Well, that's actually really cool. You know, the neck's a bit fatter and I can't play it as nimbly as I play a jazz bass. Well, actually, that's great because it actually might make you a better bass player. It might hold you back given those certain restrictions. So I think that, it makes me fall in love with the P bass even more. I've got a clip of James Jamerson playing as well that we can share.
P bass with flats.
Yeah,
just one really actually very similar to this. The crazy thing too about Jamerson, as Scott's pulling this up, is, he walked into a music store. This was before anyone knew that there was such a thing as the golden era of Fender basses. It was just the Fender bass that was at the store, which happened to be a 62 P bass, because in 62, he walked into a music store and bought this Sunburst P bass. And this is a 65. So very similar instruments. He had big labella flats on his, just big. And he had some foam in that back. We always played with the both covers, I believe, on the bass. So this one he would rest his hand on, play in front of it with just one finger, called that the hook. And then the foam was actually back in the pushing down on the strings attached to the bridge cover. And he's the greatest for a reason. He sounds like this.
Check it
crazy.
out.
so cool.
With brutality. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, so you can see what's going on. What's going on?
It's outrageous, isn't it?
That thing,
It is outrageous.
Even just that. I love his melody in his playing.
Yeah,
instead of just
it's
hanging
great.
out on the E, and then going to the C sharp. I like that he's playing boom. Ah. It's so cool.
Is that the
Amazing.
one that he supposedly played lying on the floor?
Maybe
Is
I
it
think
what's
actually
going on? I think it might be mine.
might be like he came back from a like they went out after a session, got a little food, maybe had a couple drinks, came back to the
Yeah, I think he
and
recorded it lying on his back.
There was, like one more track he had to do, and he
Yeah.
was maybe a little out of it, so he just laid on the floor. Oh man, it's so cool. I can't play it sitting in a perfectly comfortable chair. So cool.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
Ian.
me
Great.
too, me too. Okay, dude, I'm gonna stick on my blindfold again.
Well, Gav made a really astute observation here that as we go, since
the guessing's gonna get easier. Hey, I ain't complaining. I'm not complaining.
yeah, I know you're not complaining.
Okay, so what we got left? Okay, so don't. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we can't spoil it for the people.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it for the people. You all blindfolded?
I'm blindfolded. Okay.
Oh, the delicious moment where we know Scott doesn't know. How'd you feel about that input jack click?
Oh, I missed it. It was quite It sounded
tough.
newish.
Tough. It ain't happening again. Okay. I don't even know. Let's see.
Hofner.
Yeah.
Is it Hofner? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this instrument. Oh my gosh, it's.
I could have played that.
has
I could have
such-
pretended I didn't know that. Oh my God. It was instant. I loved it.
This bass, it's such a high output. That is a really interesting thing about, people tend to think of like, oh, vintage instruments are so mellow and like low output. Man, some yes, but some are really hot. This is a 67 Hofner with these Hofner blade pickups. This is not of course, the traditional Beatle bass, but Paul McCartney did play a club a bit as well that had sort of a little bit tighter. They called it cavern spacing, where this pickup was closer to here, but this is just both pickups on, and immediately, man, what it makes me want to do, gosh, it's still a little too loud. What it makes me want to play is like, right?
Yeah.
A Hofner with flats. I mean, and there's something about, yeah, right. I mean, so any of that old stuff, like, and maybe Mac is playing that with a pick. This, of
Dude,
course.
I've got a clip of him playing here. Should we just take a look? It's like in a rehearsal or something like this.
Yeah.
And we can
Let's
see
take
he's
a
not
listen.
playing that bass. He's playing the Hofner, the violin bass. What model's the violin bass?
That's like, I think it's called a 500/1, a 501. Is that right, Gav? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we might have some sort of like,
look at that
how is he
bass.
playing it? Check it out.
Who's talking? How you do it?
Yeah, pick.
Yep. And
Are
he's
they
got
tape
black.
lines?
Yeah, he's got black strings on that bass. Oh, vibes forever. Vibes forever. Jeez.
Love
I
it.
mean, that bass too, like, that he sold, or a bass that he used in Wings, a Yamaha BB bass, was sold at auction for a preposterous, I did a reel about it, like $450,000 or something. Yes, like almost $500,000. I think I'm right about that. I know that it was a Yamaha bass.
A BB?
And when a BB.
Wow.
And when that bass with the Bassman sticker on it,
Yeah.
finds its way into auction, if
I
it
was gonna
ever
say,
does.
into
Can you
your
imagine?
bass collection.
My bass collection. Oh, I wouldn't even want the responsibility of like being the steward of that instrument. I don't want that responsibility.
Yeah.
Although I would be an awfully good steward of that instrument. Scott, I would. But I mean, what's that going to go for? What's your guess? How much
my
money? Like if that went in auction, Dusty Hill's bass
Yeah.
went for. I mean, the numbers these days are crazy. I'm just going to look because I did a little diving into this, and it's wild, man. So yeah, Dusty's sold for, it was the second highest ever, and it sold for
The second highest what? Second highest bass in terms of value?
yeah, second highest bass, $394,000. It was a 53P bass, second only to Paul's Yamaha BB that he played with wings, sold for $496. Dude, it's even more than I said. $496.
I wonder where his, like, the Hofners are, the McCartney Hofners. I wonder if he's still got them.
He plays. I mean, well, no. Oh, sorry. About to spread misinformation. I don't know that he still plays that one. He probably does not.
Yeah,
But I feel
if
like
he
he
still
still-
owns it, that's like a mil plus. Easy.
Oh, dude.
Easy.
I think 10. Are you think
Really?
just $1 million bucks? Dude, I think it's 10. I think it's 10 plus.
That would
Dude,
freak me
Dusty Hill's bass. That also, by the way, the Dusty Hill bass that sold for, $400,000.
out. Yeah.
That he never played it with ZZ Top. It was just like a bass in his collection that was an old Fender.
Jesus.
The Paul McCartney bass. There's also one, maybe the one that has that Bassman sticker also has the set list, but there's one that has a set list on it as well, for like an old Beatles set list that he
Crazy.
taped onto it. It's still
Yeah.
there. That's going to sell for 10 million plus, I think.
That is
I don't know.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That would stress me out. If I had any one item that was worth like that much, it would stress me out.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely insanity. Yeah, a bass like a fragile, lightweight, made of kind of like cheap wood. I mean, sorry, Hofner. I mean, I don't know. They didn't think they were building a $10 million instrument.
Yeah, that's true. What sucks about Hofner's or the small short scale? I don't want to. No, actually, let's just. Could we have with the other instruments, like what sucks about the Rickenbacker? What sucks about what sucks about that Hofner specifically, and possibly the violin basses as well?
What sucks about a Hofner is the old ones don't have side dots. So I have got to tell you, you think you're a good bass player until you remove your side dots, and then you are shit. You have no
my
idea what's
word.
going on.
I'm looking
And so-
down.
Yeah. Then you have to do this. You have to like peer and you have to play the gig like this. I will say that I took a little Sharpie and just put tiny little dots on the side.
Yeah.
That was a main thing. I've tried to play this instrument live. It's such a beautiful sound recorded, but live, I don't know, there's certain, it's prone to feedback. It's hollow inside. So it kind of like would start to feed back in a loud environment. I think they're kind of uneven. They don't sustain. But again, the bugs can be features, right? Because if Paul McCartney played a bass that just sustained forever, he might not have written, written these amazing bass lines. Like if he had a bass that was just like, oh, and that note, that D lasted forever, he wouldn't have needed to go.
Yeah,
You
like
know
he
what I
needs
mean?
to fill the space because the note dies off so fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he keeps playing it. And it's a really lovely sound of the pick, I think. And I think it fits into a mix beautifully. They're really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's uneven. There's dead spots. It doesn't sustain. They're super lightweight. They feel kind of fragile. Like the bridge is hard to intonate because it's just little bits of metal. It's actually pieces of fret. that you can put into different
That is
slots.
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, you just put them into different slots, don't you?
Yeah. And then you kind of move this thing around. Also, the pick guard is connected with this tenuous little piece of metal to the bridge for some reason.
Yeah.
So like if that, I mean, I don't know. It also the switches and the knobs feel kind of like they're going to break. It's whenever I pick this up, I'm like, okay, like I feel like I need to handle it cautiously.
It's quirky, isn't it? Yeah, it's quirky.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas
I think
a P-bass,
I think it's great. I still think.
they're so cool.
Yeah, just to be transparent, everybody, we're not kind of sort of like shitting on these basses, saying they're bad. I think it's just funny to point out like what are the things that all of the quirky little things, because ultimately like these are time-tested, iconic basses, as we state in the title, maybe the 5 most iconic basses of all time. But still, even though they are the most iconic basses of all time, they've got these little quirks and things that really make them what they are. And as we said with the P-bass, a lot of these things, these bugs that we're pointing out, are actually a feature, are the reason that these instruments are so special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think like if you endeavor to own any of these, just really try to lean into that stuff. Don't try to make the Hofner a Dingwall.
What?
You know what I mean?
So what?
You're back at it. All right. I've got one for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a delicious moment.
Ooh, that was interesting. It was an interesting click.
Yeah. Did you notice something about that click? I maybe should have muted. Let's see. Hold on a minute. Hold on. This one is. Well, I'm not going to say those words. Let me just get this back to where I think it's good. Okay. Are you ready?
Hit me. Well, the biggest difference between everything you played to this point and this bass is because this bass is active AF. Like, it is active.
Before you say what you think, oh, you blew it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Imagine I didn't.
But what do you mean? What do you mean when? So what is it? What is it, Scott Devine?
It's a Stingray. It's a
is.
Stingray. Yeah, it was so obvious that it was just wow. It's kind of wild doing the blindfold thing, but yeah, it just sounds completely different, and that's because it's active.
Yeah, I mean, and I went hard into the EQ too. You can make a Stingray. You can't make a Stingray sound like a P bass, but if you take the treble knob, like if I played this lightly, you might not know right away. But there is something in that top end, zig, 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 right?
There's like a glassiness, isn't it? There's like a glassy top end.
Yes,
to it,
yes. And I mean, you haven't seen this bass, by the way.
I haven't seen the bass. No.
This is a new 76. They call this a 76 retro. It's basically their first ever recreation of the very first year. They made 100 of them. They're finished in nitro. This one, serial number CB 00066. So this is the 66th one out of 100. I found it.
Can I tell the good people your Music Man woes? So Ian, myself, and Blue the Tiger are on a call, and Blue's telling us how she's like looking for this Music Man. She's like, I'm looking for this dream Music Man.
Yes.
She had like the year that she wanted and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's 79.
Yeah. And Ian pipes up and he's like, listen, look, I've got a Music Man, that one that you're looking for. It's in my collection. Look, do you want to
right
buy
behind
it?
me?
And she's like, and he gets it, grabs it. Go on.
I didn't say, do you want to buy it? She said, I have to have that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she was like, will you sell it to me? Like, I wasn't like, do you want to buy it? I wasn't really looking to sell it, but she was like, please sell that to me.
So you did. So you went along to one of the shows. You gave her the bass.
Yeah.
And then was it the day after or the week after?
Dude, it was literally the next day.
So
I
the
got
next
a call.
day, yes, the next day, Michael Bland, who was Prince's drummer of the New Power Generation, and legend that's played with like Corey Wong and like Minneapolis legend drummer, calls Ian, and he really wants like what vibe did he ask for?
He's like, hey man, I was playing for, there's a hip hop artist that he was helping produce called Champtown, and he was like, hey man, do whatever you want, but there's one tune in particular that really needs like that flea Stingray thing. I swear to God. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I had only ever used that Stingray to make like SBL content. I did like a Rage Against the Machine vid. I did a Tony Levin thing. Yeah. And I mean, dude, I about died. And so, I have 2 Stingrays now. There's one that I had sold to my uncle that I was like, hey man,
it freaked you out so much that you had to get 2.
And it's like, now I'll never sell another bass, I mean,
you're going to end up with more Stingrays than any other bass in your collection.
Yes. I mean, we've done, I don't think this video is out yet, the Stingray video that we did, but it's really an iconic sound. I mean, yes, it's very active, but man, it's so like the bass lines that right? Like crazy.
Oh, so good.
Of course, also this classic. Like unbelievable bass line. You put a bit of drive on it, right? And then it's like this kind of thing, Right? I mean,
that is like so good.
Insane.
No.
That's Tim Comerford, right? And I mean, and then of course the classic, like, I don't know what clip you have there, but if I dial back the treble and maybe push the bass up a touch, it's this. Right?
So good. And just to put it out, we're actually, like Ian hinted at it earlier, we're actually going to be doing a video specifically on the Music Man that's going to be coming onto the YouTube channel real soon. But the freaky thing is that if you think about the 5 most iconic basses of all time, the 5 basses that had like such a huge impact on modern music as we hear it today, 3 of them were made and invented by the same guy. That is outrageous. It is outrageous.
Yes. Yeah. And briefly, right? Like, so Leo Fender designed, he helped to bring the Stingray into existence.
Yeah.
He sells to CBS. CBS Corporation buys Fender in '65, make him sign a 10-year do not compete. That's a long ass time, a decade. And he schemes, dude. He schemes.
Damn right he does.
Yeah, and he and some buddies come up with this. And so in '75, they start Music Man, and then in '76, the first Stingray comes out. And this is a model of that first bass with the old radio knobs and everything.
And it was a game changer.
Cool.
It was
totally
game changer.
Because active preamp in it, you're able to boost bass and treble. Yeah. So imagine this, right? Maybe a passive bass without that bass and treble boost kind of sounds like this. And then you can take the bass knob. Holy moly. Right? You can take the treble knob. Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have this big aggressive, it's a humbucker. It makes no noise. It's put back kind of closer to the bridge. So it's a little more aggressive. It's funny. They still gave you like string mutes, right? Back then, because they thought that was like really important, so you can, there's these like thumb screw string mutes back by the bridge, but that sound became this like legendary thing. And I think, do you have a little
I've got a
something?
clip, dude. Just as you were saying that though, I was wondering, I wonder if Marcus Miller, I've never asked him, it'd be an interesting question to ask him. I wonder if Marcus Miller ever thought about moving to the Music Man.
Oh, like playing? Yeah. Have you ever
seen? Because he's such he's an aggressive player. It's like sounds right up front, active sound.
Yes.
Like I wonder.
Yeah, did he ever consider playing a Stingray?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, dude. This is
ye old
freaking
Thunder Thumbs.
crazy. Lewis Johnson with the Brothers Johnson,
Yeah.
Thunder Thumbs. Yeah. Oh, he's hitting the bass so hard. God. Oh, how many strings do you think this guy broke at a show?
Oh my word. What about the calluses on his fingers?
Oh, I know. Good God. I mean,
Outrageous.
that is just like, I feel like there's a video of him where he's, playing an instructional video and you can hear the bass is plugged in, but just him slapping like through a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Through the mic. Like it sounds like that.
It's crazy.
Like you hear the percussive element of the bass even when it isn't, like cranked up through an amp or something. You just hear like the,
Such an
it's so
iconic sound, isn't it? But
Yeah.
when you were playing earlier, I was thinking about what sucks about the Stingray, and I don't know, like I think out of the basses so far, maybe the hardest one to really pin down, because there is like definitely an element of versatility in there. Like, I don't know, is there anything in terms of the downsides of a Stingray? Is there anything that jumps out to you?
I have had the hardest time with the Stingray figuring out how to use it in a way that isn't up front. So like it seems because of the bridge position and because of all the treble on tap and all the big boomy bass, it's hard to find a sound that isn't kind of pokey. I mean, so if you're doing the Tony Levin thing, or you're doing, the like, or you're doing, then cool. But if you're kind of trying to play, even just with the slide, it's like
Active.
Yeah. And okay, so I can turn the treble off, but you still kind of hear it. Yeah. So I struggled with this instrument when I first got one. I struggled to figure out how to put it into like a band where it didn't always sound like it was like, "Hi guys, I'm the Stingray. Hey, listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me, guys." I don't know. Like it just sort of felt like I could never get, the mid-range. It does not sound like a P bass, and that P bass mid-range seems to sort of sit, and this doesn't sit. It like sticks out. So, I mean, you maybe just crank all those knobs up and go for it,
Yeah.
and embrace that thing that,
Bug's
it's like,
a
wow,
feature.
that makes it. Yeah, the bug's a feature, but that's what I think is hard about it, is it just doesn't ever sit down. It's like always standing up.
Yeah,
Like, hey.
I'm smiling because I was thinking about putting on my putting on the blindfold, but I don't think I need to for the next one.
for the last one.
I think myself and the good people out there, we all know that it's going to be a jazz
We all know.
bass.
Yeah, that it's going to be a Fender jazz bass. Yeah. This is a 78 with a maple board. This is like the classic Marcus bass, although this has pretty old strings, but such a different slap sound.
So yeah, like completely different. Should we show? Shall I show the people the Marcus Miller clip?
Yeah,
I've got
sure.
a great Marcus Miller clip. Check it out. Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah, man. I mean, that is an iconic thing. And that's, he has an active preamp in that bass.
Yeah.
So, you know, like when you hear one without that sort of active thing, but I could probably get somewhere.
Yeah, it
kinda
definitely
close.
sounds different to that bass that you're playing there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There is a different kind of vibe to it.
Like if I scoop out some mid-range, let's see here. Like if I scoop out a bunch of mid-range, maybe boost treble a bit. It's still not totally Marcusy. But it's that sort of that scooped out jazz bass thing where you're using both pickups. And it's, you know, it's got that really just like big bottom, nice top. The mid is sort of, but it's not glassy. It doesn't sound like there's a battery in it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't sound like that Music Man thing where you can never get rid of the zizz on top, you know? Like if you use the tone knob, you can get kind of like...
And also, it's
dark.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I don't think that like Marcus's sound, like even though it does sound active, it's a different active sound than the Music Man.
Yes.
It's the Music Man's almost more active.
Yeah, well, and
active. I don't know what
it's
that
because
means.
it's a humbucker in the bridge.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, man, that's such a bold placement. Like, we're going to come out with one bass, the first bass we come out with as a Music Man company, you know, to try to sink Fender's ship is going to have one humbucker, a giant in the bridge, like stuffed way back by I mean, that's just like, God, man, that's such a bold move. You know,
cool.
It's very cool. Also, we gotta say, you cannot talk about a jazz, right, without talking about Jocko. Oh, let me get the tone up. Right, like all that stuff that Jocko did, right?
Yeah.
Like, so iconic, and really, you can only do that. You could probably do that on a Stingray, but that sound happens.
It's not going to sound the same. Yeah.
Right. That thing, that, you know, that Jocko thing, that bridge pickup sound. Like, that's that Jocko thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so the Marcus thing is both pickups together. And the Jocko thing is that bridge pickup solo.
Yeah. Hey, dude, Aston Family Man Barrett, we lost him a few weeks back.
Yes.
The reggae sound. Like, that's...
reggae sound.
What do you do on the bass to get that again? There's a thing.
I don't know if he did this, but the thing that I've always done to try to do a reggae thing is, so you select neck pickup, you turn the tone all the way off, but then what happens, it's still kind of then you just take your volume knob of your neck pickup, and you roll it down just a touch, and now
yes, dude.
right? And I don't know if he was doing that. He had foam back by the bridge. I think he had, you know, really incredibly old strings on a bass, but that's the way that I've always tried to get it. Just the passive electronics do this thing, you know, like, again, here's the volume knob of the neck pickup all the way up, but the tone down. And you just turn it down a touch and it falls kind of under this zone. And it really is cool. It makes it sound so dark and amazing. Yeah.
Dude, which, if you had to, desert island bass out of the 5, what are you taking?
For me, I'm a jazz bass guy. Like, I'm just at home with it when I sit with it. I like the crang of it. I love the sound of a neck pickup on a jazz bass. It's awesome. I like that you can get a lot of sounds. I like the neck profile. I like the body. I like the way they look. Like, that's something, like, I think they look really good. I think they look good on me because, you know, your boy's a tall drink of water, Scott Devine. I'm a big fella. It's kind of a big body bass. I kind of like that on me. Yeah. Yeah. So I like the jazz bass. That's me. What about you?
Today, jazz bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, today,
What
jazz
about
bass. Yeah,
What about yesterday or tomorrow?
maybe P
Has
bass.
there been another one?
P and
bass,
jazz.
Yeah.
Oh, Rickenbacker. I don't know, dude. Like the Rickenbacker. That's the. Yeah, that's the one that kind of trips me up a little bit.
I know,
But
it kind of
gun to
always-
head, jazz bass, and then on some other days a P bass.
Okay,
but I think
let me ask you-
the Rickenbacker is great. And then, interestingly, like if anybody was thinking about, well, of these 5 iconic basses, somebody might be listening to this thinking, I want them all, but which should I get first? I would say P or J first, and then
Yep.
get the other one after that.
Yep.
And then I'd probably get the Rickenbacker.
Whoa.
And
third
then
is
I'd
a
probably
Rickenbacker.
get the Hofner. And then I'd probably go for the Music Man last. How about
Stingray.
you, sir?
I'm similar. The 2 Fenders come first. P and J, those are just the staples. I think, especially if you want to play, if you're playing sessions, you're playing gigs, you want to have a variety. You absolutely need to have a P and a J. And then I would actually probably put the Hofner before the Rickenbacker. I've just found it more useful in a studio setting.
Yeah.
Although maybe if you're playing live and you're not playing in the studio, Rickenbacker. But yeah, Rickenbacker, Hofner, and I agree with you. The Stingray comes last for me because I have struggled. Other than really stepping into someone else's shoes, like doing a Tony Levin impression, doing a
Rage Against the Machine
impression.
Flea
Yes.
impression. Yeah.
Yes. Like to me, it's like a character bass, but I don't find, I just don't know how to use it very well. But okay, you show up to the desert island. This is the better question, I think. You show up to that desert island and there's the chest or there's a case and you're like, oh no shit. There's a bass on the island. Sick. And you're like, hopefully it'll be the one that I chose in that podcast episode. What's the one that if you opened the case, you'd be most bummed out to see on the island? You're like, oh, the rest of your life with this one.
That is oh God, that is an awful question, I will say. Oh, I feel so guilty about saying this. I'm riddled with guilt.
I'm so happy to make you say it. And you have to say it.
It would
Podcast
be the
just
Music
cuts
Man.
here.
It would be the Music Man.
It's the Stingray for you?
Yeah.
Wow. Shame on you. No, I don't know. Just like,
It would be the Music Man, yeah. It'd be the
Wow.
Music Man. I was running. I could do a P bass forever. I could do a jazz bass, yeah.
Yep, forever.
I could do
Yep.
a Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
That'd be a
the
world of discovery.
Dude, wouldn't it? It'd be like, oh, well, hello. Like, who are you on my desert island?
Yeah. And like, it'd be the Music Man. I'm sorry, Music Man.
Oh, terrible. No, I'm just
You
teasing.
terrible human. What about you?
If I opened that case and there was a goddamn Hofner in there, like, I would be so.
You'd be like immediately bummed out.
Well,
You're
yeah,
like,
totally,
"Oh."
dude. I mean, because it's like little and like picking up a Hofner for me is such sort of like an emasculating thing. Like it's kind of small and it's like, they're kind of tubby and I would just be like, oh God, like you can't slap on it. Like what are you just doing?
Shit, dude, hang on. I'm
Am I
questioning my
swaying
life
you?
right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm out. I'm going Hofner. I retract. As you were saying that, I was like, oh no, it is kind of small, and it's and it like and none of that. Like,
None of that, dude. No. You'd be there. Yeah, you could use it as a wrap. You could. I feel like if you had the Hofner and then you realized that you could have had the Stingray, you would immediately be like, "Man, please, can I trade?" And the bass guys would be like, "Sorry,
a couple of days
no."
after playing the Hofner, I'm like, actually, I want to revise my answer.
Hey, really quick, can I do an honorable mention because it kills me that we didn't include this in the list,
Go
but I
on.
think we didn't
Whip
for
it
good
out.
reason. Yeah.
The bass,
When in
anyway.
doubt. Yeah. When in doubt. Hey, check this out.
Oh,
This is a 76 bicentennial Gibson Thunderbird. It felt sort of strange to do the big 5 and not talk about the T-Bird, but what made us not do it is Scott was like, who are the T-Bird players? And I was like, yeah, I guess, so then what do you think of? You think of like maybe the Allman Brothers and Skinner and maybe Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith, but he played a lot of stuff. You think about Nicky Sixx maybe from Motley Crue, but he played a lot of, he actually recorded most of that on Spectres. Yeah. So, but the thing I will say, this bass, I love the way these sound. They're kind of low output. They're actually very they're sort of like misrepresented, or people think of them as these big, loud monster rock machines. But these
visual doesn't match the sound.
Exactly right, dude.
They
the
sound
visual
really
doesn't
glassy.
Match.
They sound super glassy,
They're even.
Beautiful.
They're so cool. And with a pick, they're nice. I don't know. They just like have this big, even character to them.
It's kind of a lot of mid-range, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in a good way.
Yeah, but different than a P bass, glassier top.
Yeah.
I really love these pickups. I mean, you know that. I've got these style pickups and some basses that I play.
Yeah.
But this bass, we just couldn't think of like, oh, who is the, of course, because, like Entwistle, but yeah, he didn't commit to a Thunderbird, And I know that Paul McCartney didn't commit to a Hofner, but there's so many recordings where you're like, oh man, that Hofner thing. Jocko, jazz bass, right?
Yeah.
Marcus Miller, jazz bass. Jamerson, P bass, man. And so who's I don't know, in the comments below, do you know of somebody who's like Thunderbird, like ride or die for the T-Bird? It just felt odd not to include
weird, right? Yeah.
Gibson.
Yeah.
But interesting, right?
Great looking bass though.
Oh, they're so cool.
It's a commitment, isn't it? I'm looking at that and like, I think it's just so cool to pick like an odd bass and just commit to it.
Yeah.
And just be like, no, this is the bass.
This is also so strange that it's like if you have it just in regular playing position, it is insane how neck heavy it is. Like you can brace it with that back wing here, but you cannot, like it just falls out of your lap. And on a strap too, what happens, unless you're playing it way low and kind of pointing the neck up, what happens is you're just constantly either pushing down on the sort of this fin with your arm, or you're supporting the neck with your left hand all night, and it's brutal. It's brutal to play live, actually.
Everything that you've said has just gone like right in here and right out here. And I'm just staring at that bass, just thinking, maybe that's the next bass. Like, look at it. Yes.
Yeah, they are absolutely gorgeous. The bicentennial eagle too. Yeah. Just so crazy. Do you know that this 76, dude, is when America turned 200? The bicentennial. Yeah,
really?
Man. 1976. 200 years young, baby. I don't know why I'm doing that accent. I'm going to get fucking canceled after this podcast. Cool.
You're going to lose sleep. You're like, no.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I regret it all.
Dude, where did we go from here? I think that we wrap it anyway. Please, as we said right at the top of this video, let us know if we missed one out. I'm sure that we did. But if we do another one of these instruments, maybe it's not sort of like focused on iconic instruments. Maybe it's like the 5 greatest basses that have been used within rock. Maybe it's the 5 greatest basses that's been used within fusion. I don't know. But like, let us know down below in the comments if you're on YouTube. And if you're not on YouTube, consider popping on over and giving us a shout in the comments as well, because we really love you audio listeners, but we also love listening or watching, should I say, or, reading all of the comments on YouTube.
Yes.
It's so amazing to see all of the feedback. coming through from these podcast episodes. We should have mentioned it right at the top of the conversation, actually, that we're shifting predominantly all of the podcasts onto the main SBL channel, but we will do like a proper announcement for that, and we'll pop it on the podcast YouTube channel that we absolutely love. We love the community that's been built over there. So what we want to do is really get everybody either, continue to listen in on audio or back over to the main SBL channel where everybody can jump into the conversation in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as Scott's saying too, we love that we love people that listen on audio, but you might feel like us. Like I've met people that listen to the pod and they're like, oh, they know so much about us because they're listening all the time, but we don't know anything about you. Yeah. And we would like that to change. Like if you come over to the YouTube channel and you watch and you interact, make some friends in those comments. You can ask us questions and we check that stuff out. I read that stuff. I try to get back to people. And so that's a way to interact versus just listening. If you come over, you leave a comment on YouTube, it helps us out. We get a chance to know you a little bit as well, and that's something that we want. So
yeah, absolutely. And just to say thanks for all of the kindness. And yes. I mean, like we have a really large YouTube platform, like 1.2 million subscribers or whatever. And when you publish a video on a channel with 1.2 million subscribers, you, of course, get some crazy ass comments, right?
Yeah.
Of people hating you, and calling you whatever names and all of that stuff. And that is part of it. And that's totally fine. But what we really noticed about the podcast community that we grew on the separate YouTube channel is that there was none of that shit actually in the comments. It was just good vibes and really fantastic conversations. So we really want to bring
YouTube utopia, dude.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't happen that much, right? And we really want to really bring that over to the main channel and carry on fostering that type of community and vibe with you guys, even though it is going to be like we're scared. We're like, oh, hopefully, the vibe continues to be the same in the comments. But I feel really good about it actually, because I think that just long form conversation is you get to know us as people and therefore people will be less likely to be like, oh, Scott, you like, look at the size of that guy's conch. Look at that guy's nose. It's huge. I swear to God, that was actually a comment on one of the videos. I was like, look at that conch.
God, jeez. I thought you were talking about something else.
No,
is that a slang term?
It's a slang name.
Too close to the other one, dude. Change it. Too close to the other one.
I swear, I nearly just fell off my stool. I leaned back and I was like, oh, am I going? Yeah. That might have been worth it just to catch it on video. Hey Gav, can you remember when was it you, Gav? That was was it a live stream? I was doing a live stream once, like years ago, and in the middle of the live stream, my stool just disintegrated underneath me and broke up, and I like fell off the chair. And hey,
incredible.
Yeah, it was funny. But anyway, just to let you guys know, we want you to, if you're on YouTube, jump over. Get involved in those comments. And if you're listening on audio as well, consider hopping over and becoming part of that community as well. We'd love to see you over there. And also just to say that we're really trying to be mindful of not straying from what made the podcast special for us as humans, Ian and I, but also what made the podcast special for you guys as well. Like some of those podcasts, to be transparent, we just freaking, jumped on Zoom and we were like, shit, what we're talking about today. And we just launched into the conversation. And I think that that's what kept them really, I don't know, there's something really special about that. And we really want to find the line between keeping that, but also understanding that we're putting it on the main YouTube channel and there might be more visual elements or audio elements that we start putting in the mix as well. Like for instance, today, right? We had, we're sharing
Sure.
clips, Ian's playing a lot. So, and please, we're probably not going to get it right straight off the bat. In fact, we're probably going to get it wrong straight off the
Right.
bat. But just, trust us a little bit and we'll maneuver ideally in the right direction with this and we'll find a great place with it. Anyway, what were you saying, Ian?
Oh, just that, we might have a plan now, like we're not gonna jump on these and put them on the main channel with just like zero plan. So, we want to keep the banter, but we also do want to have a plan. We want to provide value. We're not just insane narcissists to think that like all you guys want to hear about is, the difference between like British and American slang and like, Scott doesn't like sushi or peanut butter, which is insane to me. Fucking insane. But we do still want to have some of that stuff too. So we're trying to find the balance. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, dude, let's wrap it, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the YouTubes and in the podcasts and in the comments and all that good stuff. See you next time. Bye.
Take care, everybody.